Today on Seeds of Gold, we take a look at fish farming in Uganda. The fish industry is very important in providing employment, poverty reduction, and bringing in foreign exchange revenues. There are two major sources of fish in Uganda, of which fishing from the open waters of rivers and lakes is the most significant. Lakes, rivers and swamps account for 44,000 square kilometers of Uganda's surface area of the 241,000 square kilometers. And fishing and other related activities provide a livelihood to many people. Although for the longest time, fish farming in Uganda has been pond and subsistence based, there is growing interest in commercial aquaculture, with some farmers looking at the cage culture based farming. This has been the result of strategic interventions from development partners and the government's efforts through projects like Operation Wealth Creation. Nevertheless, the pond culture is the most common system of fish farming in the country. Although fish is a common delicacy to many and a medicinal ingredient, fish farming, like any other agribusiness, is a venture that one has to carefully study before getting into. It is also a business activity one can lucratively earn from if taken on with a zealous mind.
When water is dirty like this, tilapia does not feed on from the bottom. They feed from top. So they need fresh water like this one.
From Kaberamaido district, Ararak village, we get an insight into Sunday Peter's Aichulu fish farming business. This 45-year-old seems to have poured all his energy into this activity, heading a group of 30 young men and women. But how did it all start?
At first we started this just as a family. We started just with one small pond. Then when we saw something out of it, there was a NUSAF project that came here, NUSAF 1. We also filled the form, and they gave us the first project of a tune of 13 million. So we started by opening 3 ponds. 2, this one was 2, plus this one. This was the 3rd. So we opened 3 under NUSAF 1. Then from there, we started slowly, but we didn't make much because we were just starting. We first failed. Then now, fortunately, NADS came in again. When NADS came in, NADS boosted us. We started rehabilitating these ponds. NADS gave us 1,500 fingerlings. 1,500 fingerlings and feeds 500 kilograms. So we then started from there and we made the first sale. We got about to 4.5 million.
As the saying goes, he who has more shall be added unto him. This group's ponds grew even bigger by another 45 ponds, which were also a result of a donation.
We now came in, we were joined in by our brothers, partners again, who came in to boost us up. That is the Sungate. Sungate came in and they helped us by opening for us this there are 45 new ponds that Sungate opened for us. We stocked those ones, but unfortunately because of this drought, we decided now to first pull out all the fish because there was no water reaching down there. We had stocked about 20. So our plan was maybe by this season we could now expand to the other ones we had already excavated. So we now had to pull all the fish that we had stocked in the 20 and brought into these 5 we are trying to maintain now. Then the other partner that boosted us again was Operation Wells Creation. Operation Wells Creation gave us in total 15,000 fish. And they are already mature now. Only that to market again is a challenge.
With continued government interventions, Ararak A village later acquired a demo pond that has been set up to help in training other community members get skills in the fish farming business to improve on livelihoods, as Peter explains.
The district under Minister of Fish, Animal Industry and Fisheries gave us a demo pond. That one you see in the middle there. It is a demo pond given by the ministry, and its purpose is for training other fish farmers. This is like a training center now. They always come here whenever they want to consult on certain things. So the fisheries officer always brings them here, and then those schools, the technical schools, the children who are doing aquaculture also come here. The secondary schools around bring their children here for knowledge. The youth so far benefited, and they are very happy of this. Others have now opened their own fish projects. If we were to move around, there are so many. But they came and got the knowledge mostly from here. Others come for fingerlings even from here. We just give them.
Although Kaberamaido district is a predominantly dry land, Peter's fish farm seems to be strategically located in a waterlogged area. He also seems to have another brighter idea in dealing with the water problem.
This technology came about when the drought now fell in. That was when we now said, how can we lose all these fish? Because imagine, we now brought all the fish that were stocked the other side. We are to bring now this technology to help us at least boost the water level in these 5 remaining ponds, because the water could not sustain these ponds. So we had to pump water from the other side, from the borehole. In fact, even now we still do pump water from that borehole. Only that borehole is not sustainable. It is the capacity cannot fill this. Sustain this whatever, because it is just 1,500. So you pump only 1,500 within just 20 minutes, and the thing ends, it dries up. That is another challenge that we have. That's why we are trying to, we are requesting government to at least assist us with some this water for production. We hear government is handling the issue of water for production. If they could also assist us with that project, so that this project can be sustained.
As a rural area, Kaberamaido has a poor supply of electricity. Petty thieves easily use this as a loophole to destabilize Peter's activity. To fight the vice, he has decided to invest some more into solar lamps and security guards to help him out.
Those are security solar lights. We put purposely for security of this place. You know, there was a time some thieves came and pulled about 300 and some fishing from moreover mature ones. We have askaris here who look after this place.
Tilapia does not feed from under, it feeds on top, and they need fresh water. We find out how Peter handles the feeding and market challenges. We also talk to an expert from the Ministry of Fisheries. Don't miss out.
NTV, turning on your world.
Hey guys, I'm about to become a first-time dad, but I'm stuck in traffic. Help! Guys, let's help this new dad get to his firstborn. Come on!
4G experience. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Daily exposure to different environments leads to a buildup of germs, oil, and dirt. These can cause blemishes and uneven skin tone. You need new Dettol Even Tone. It removes 99.9% of germs and is formulated to remove excess oil and dirt, helping to reduce the appearance of blemishes, giving your family the confidence of healthy, even-toned skin. For an even better you, new Dettol Even Tone. Dettol, be 100% sure.
Selena! Hello. Kitchen gets a 10 out of 10. Thank you. This also gets a 10. Should we see the toilet now? Sure. This gets just 1.
It is clean.
But not perfect.
Better than my cleaners? Impossible.
Challenge. Try the new Harpic 10X. Compared to ordinary cleaners, Harpic's thick formulation removes yellow stains 10 times better, giving you a sparkling clean toilet.
Wow.
Now you also take
the Harpic 10X Challenge.
On the next episode of Coke Studio Africa, Lydia Jasmine from Uganda creates an original hit with Liloka from Mozambique. Avril from Kenya collaborates with Izo Business from Tanzania on an awesome throwback track. And Rising Stars, the band Becca from Kenya, get the chance to work with AKA from SA and Olamide from Nigeria. Only on Coke Studio Africa. This is where music meets.
Tonight on NTV is brought to you by
The Taste of Uganda.
Tonight on NTV.
Oh, I think that this baby is ready to be born.
Well, the doctor told me to have everything ready.
Well, I already got everything together for you so that you can choose what you want to take.
Too many things. If all goes well, I'll be back in just 2 days. No more than that.
You look very, very elegant and beautiful.
Oh. Yes, I already told her that she looks beautiful.
Oh, yes.
Well, you know, little by little, I'll be feeling much better. Walter, what do you know about Elena? Is she ready?
Don't leave me behind. I'm ready to go.
You shouldn't be walking down so quickly, Elena. No.
Tonight on NTV.
The Taste of Uganda. The Taste of Uganda.
Kusiringa mitwale mini ne mitwale tano VIP. Hey, Chad on the right background there, Bobo. Atengira nganya November, Trans Africa Jinja. Kusiringa mitwale kumu. Atenga tano November Resort Beach and Teme. Kusiringa mitwale kumu zoka. Ticket vitu ni wakubanga mini mitano. Kusoba kumibiri mkumina msambu. Quarantine Service Centers, Kukambala Road, Lugogo ShopRite, the ShopRite Clock Tower, Radio and Whistle. 10th anniversary, paka. Tiki Kidwa. Sama Furubala Muneo Kidwa. Radio 1 Cola. Hata security chikome Uganda Police. MTN everywhere you go. Belmaga. Omwenge. Tegukirizibwa abali wansi w'emyaka 18. Omwenge gunywendo obuvunanyizibwa.
Coca-Cola.
With all the investment Peter has put into fish farming, he surely must have envisioned the big market that he is yet to tap into.
The market is a bit of a challenge because we have now stayed with this fish here for quite a long time. We don't have where to sell. There are people who came from Kenya. They came and sampled, but they found that, you know, with the fish, when water is dirty like this, tilapia does not feed on from the bottom. They feed from top. So they need fresh water like this one. That one, the red one, is not all that bad, but when it is not, fish cannot visibly see the feeds. It is only the other clearest feed, fish that can feed from the bottom. For them, they don't have a problem. But now the tilapia, they have to feed on fresh water. where they can see the feed from a distance. So that is what brought us down. Otherwise, we had the fish we have here was weighing 800 grams, going to 9. But because of the drought, it dropped. The kilos dropped to 600 grams. So those people could not take. Now they have given us some time. They told us you may be feed for about 2 months or 3. That's when we can now come and what? Take your fish. And we have, in total, we have around over 60,000 fish. Half of that is ready for market. We are trying to look for market through various means. It is good even now you have come here. You might help us to connect us to the market. Otherwise, the fish is here. We are always in touch with the office of OWC, Fisheries Department, and the district. For us, ours now ends around where the district is. We always put them at a task of at least looking for the market for us. And they are indeed trying also.
With the feeds costing as high as 90,000 shillings for a 30-kilogram bag, Peter must improvise and supplement with the fish feeds so as to meet the minimum required standards for the market price.
We get the feeds from Yuga Chick. We have floating feeds, and we have these powder ones, the powder feeds. And sometimes we go even up to the breweries to pick those, the brewery whatever, is what we sometimes also use when, feeds are very expensive.
Taking into consideration all the costs involved, having that well-fed fresh fish on your plate is a rare delicacy considering an average Ugandan earns less than $1 a day.
Locally from here, well, because I've ever sold, locally from here, you can sell one fish of 1 kg in our local market here at 5,000. But if it is clear areas weighs so many kilograms, so you can sell that one at about 10,000, one big one. The one weighing about 3 to 4 kilograms here locally. But now, on the outside market, that's what we are trying to look at. Because those people of Kenya had told us that they were going to buy a kilo of tilapia at 8,000. 8,000. Yes, from their side. From here now, when they are to buy, they are supposed to buy each the one that weighs like 1 kg at 80,000.
Hard work surely pays, and with a stock of over 60,000 fish currently, Peter has high hope that his efforts will soon pay off and his group members will live to reap from what they have sowed. We are glad to talk to Joyce, who will be giving us an insight on fish farming. Make your fish enterprise better.
Currently, we have 2 major species we are farming in Uganda. There are others, but there are 2 major species. We have got the Nile Tilapia. It's known scientifically as Oreochromis niloticus. Locally, people know it as Ngege. Then we have got African catfish, that is Garapinus, Clarias garapinus, locally known as Mali. The 2 species do well because of the good climatic growing conditions. We have good waters, we have good temperatures, and also we have availability of food for those species. We encourage people to site their ponds in a gently sloping area with good soils which can hold water. Why do we want a gently sloping area? The pond should be able to fill by gravity, and you should be able to drain it out also by gravity. And before you come to the fields, you need to make sure the water quality is good for your fish. You have adequate oxygen, you don't have these harmful gases, you have the things like ammonia. So those are things we first look at. Then now when you come to the issue of feeds, what feeds do we recommend? For tilapia, we recommend, if you are going to use intensive, we recommend you use compound feeds. These are feeds which are mixed, various animal protein with plant components to come with a compound feeds. And for tilapia, it should be floating, because if you notice when tilapia are feeding, they like to come and feed from the surface. For catfish, you can use sinking feeds because they are normally bottom feeders. Although they can also come and feed from the surface. You can use either floating feeds or sinking feeds. For tilapia, we also encourage people to fertilize their ponds, because you can find the growth of the phytoplanktons and zooplanktons, which are the natural foods in the pond. That's why you find when you see the ponds are greenish in color, we have got growth of phytoplanktons. So those are the feeds we are recommending. I know some people use other leftover foods. The reason why most of them are doing polyculture, the mixing of the two, tilapia grows fast. Within 4 months, they become mature and start reproducing. So you find that you have stocked 1,000 fish according to the recommended stocking rate. But because they reproduce fast, from around 4 months, then you end up with more fish in the pond than what was recommended. And because there are too many for the space available and also for the food available, they become stunted in growth. So we have been encouraging people to do what we call polyculture, mixing catfish and tilapia, so that the catfish will eat some of the young of the tilapia and therefore keep the population of tilapia down. There are two main sources people are using. We have got the rivers, the running waters, and also from the springs. We find the spring water is more suitable than the river. Well, if we are using river water, we have to be mindful of the people upstream to see that the activities upstream are not detrimental to your farm. Because if you've got agricultural activities upstream where there's use of pesticides and other agrochemicals, they may pollute the water and affect your fish farm. So we encourage the people to make sure their farms are properly sited in areas which are not affected by upstream activities. Yes, market is one of the challenges farmers are facing. One, farmers go into farming without knowing where they are going to sell their fish. We always tell people, market is very important. Before you go to any activity, you must know where you are going to sell. Even in a crop bit life, you must know where your market is. So what we are trying to do is to provide market information. We are also working with the Ministry of Trade, because that is their mandate, to find market for agricultural products. So already the Ministry of Trade is doing some groundwork to identify markets within the region, and they are trying to have markets at the border points where our people can take their fish, and they are trying to put their cold storage facilities. This is in plan. Like any other business, fish farming has got risks. If you don't have a proper plan, first of all, people should do it as a business. That means you must have your plan. You must know what you intend to do and what you expect to get out of this. You must know where you are getting your inputs, the seed, the fish fry, which is quality. You must be knowing where you are going to get your feed of quality. And you must know that feed is about 70% of the cost of fish farming. And that means you must have adequate budget to sustain you through the growing period of about 9 months. Most farmers start, they don't have that resources set aside, and then they run into resource shortage, and they cannot sustain providing the feeds, and then they end up with the stunted fish and so on. The other thing is the predators. We have got manta lizards, we have snakes, we have birds which eat fish. You must have good management practices. Keep your fish farm clean and secure to prevent these predators. Otherwise, you will think I've put 5,000 fish in the pond. Every night, every day, they are coming and picking some. And for you think there are 5, because when you throw fish feeds, you see some water ripples, then you assume the fish is still in the pond. When the predators, the manta lizards, the snakes, the otters have eaten the fish. So you have to keep security of your place. The other upcoming risk is fish diseases. So we want the fish farmers to start having biosecurity measures. Know who comes into your farm, know how diseases are likely to come in, and how to prevent them. Because even disease outbreak can wipe out your fish farm in a short while, and you can lose all your investment. So these are some of the risks which farmers face. Young generation, money is in agriculture. Money is in farming. Forget about white-collar jobs. It is nice to be smart and clean in an office, but there is money in farming.
Next week on Seeds of Gold.
Committed to transforming livelihoods of farmers in Uganda through provision of agricultural inputs and supporting value addition for different value chains.